What else? Okay, guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. Please like, subscribe, and share. Right? Hit the subscribe button right here. You rock. Remember to check this out: Hip Hop and Igbo Culture, a book authored by yours faithfully, Martin Pan. Okay, it's on Amazon.com. Check it out right now. I will later. Yeah, stick around right now. Good morning and welcome to Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Today, the 17th day of January 2025. Today is Friday and the time is 2 minutes past the hour of 7. It's time for newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers. But before we do that, let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us.
Ebona, the 103.5 FM Ogidi presents Media Talent Hunt and Skill Acquisition Show. Are you an upcoming model, actor, rap, R&B, gospel, reggae, or high life musician? Are you trying to find your footing on social media? Do you want to earn money with talents and skills? Do not look any further. Sign up for Ebona, the 103.5 FM Media Talent Hunt and Skill Acquisition Show. Today, you will have the opportunity to learn and become an expert in video coverage, photography, film editing, music production, advertising and social media marketing, content creation, filmmaking, radio drama, magazine production, and many more. Register today at Ebona, the 103.5 FM Ogidi, opposite Ogunike Boys, inside European Residency Hotel Ogidi. For more information, call or WhatsApp 080 6579 6599.
Welcome back to Ebona, the 103.5 FM newspaper headlines. This morning, we are going to take you through the news making the headlines on The Guardian, Leadership, Vanguard, Sun, Punch, Daily Post, The Nation. This day, and if time permits, we are also going to take a look at Nigerian Tribune newspapers. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 081 38 39 7740 or 081 39 25 6742. I am Martin. Let's get started with the Guardian newspaper this morning. Tax reform, governors, presidency shelve VAT hike, agree on new revenue sharing formula. ICPC to arraign El Rufai's ex-appointees for alleged 64 million naira fraud. Defense headquarters blames external forces, local collaborators for terrorism surge in Northeast. Defense headquarters blames external forces, local collaborators for terrorism surge in Northeast. Family, friends, remember late Otumba Anthony Olusegun Odugbesan rowdy session at National Assembly over budget defense. Budget. Nigeria needs 127.7 million barrels or $10.3 billion oil revenue, says federal government. Boko Haram ambush. United Nations demands justice for 40 killed in Borno. United Arab Emirates leader accepts Tinubu's invite to Nigeria. 2025 funding tackling out of school menace, top expectations. Police to probe violence at Edo Election Tribunal venue. Adeyanju urges EFCC share to prosecute dismissed officers. Prison congestion. Group targets 30% reduction in pre-trial detentions. Ohaneze youths force Soludo demands Kano's release. Man arrested for allegedly stabbing father to death in Delta. Police sailed PDP secretariat in Rivers over leadership crisis. Rivers confirms 9 deaths from suspected cholera outbreak. Federal government, NIMC launch digital cards to assist farmers. Others, AFCFTA wants protocol on digital trade implemented. Ohaneze group accuses Azota Mbata of sacrilege against Ikpiri land. Civil society organizations urges Tinubu to halt harassment, threat against Amnesty International. Federal government says Sanusi's advice not needed to validate president's reforms. Lagos warns estate residents against violation of rules, regulations. Enugu government firm partner to revamp Nike Lake Resort. ASG unveiled moves to redefine leadership. Coalition condemns commencement of 2027 campaigns. ICPC arraigns 2 boundary commission officials for forgery, abuse of office. Gunmen abduct 5 in Kwara community, midnight raid. FAMAD laments rising cost of sales, tax government on improved local production. Man arraigned for threatening Ekiti Catholic Bishop's life. Gateman allegedly steals a property worth over 1.2 million naira. Lagos court hears. Burial rites for Ezekwesili begin January 22nd. Security guard arrested for attempted indecent assault on 6-year-old girl. Uzodinma Diri, 576 others lose Abuja Plus over C of O debt. Lagos announces diversion plan for repairs on Lagos Island routes. Methodist Church enthrones Frederick Onoja as Bishop of Kubwa Diocese. Federal government targets 2030 to end open defecation. Partners youths. Oba Salis hails Tinubu as anomaly after Man of the Year win. Federal government to complete 252 billion naira Abuja Kaduna Kanu Road rehabilitation in 14 months. Tensions flare in Edo as PDP, APC clash over party secretariat. Akpabio slams government appointees, call for commitment. Edo APC reclaims secretariat from PDP after 4 years. Ondo declares a Friday work-free for local government elections. Tribunal reserves a ruling on INEC Opeboro APC application. Others. How BPP prevented 1.9 trillion naira fraud in 17 years. 473 civilians killed from Iran's airstrikes in 10 years. Coalition. World Health Organization appeals for $1.5 billion to tackle unprecedented global health crisis. NES president tax federal government on cash distribution to poor. Money laundering. Court denies El Rufai's chief of staff bail. Federal government debunks rumor of third mainland bridge shaking. Nnamdi Kano's lawyers decries continued detention, backs political resolution. Akwa Ibom. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency seizes 779.26 kilograms of illicit drugs, secures 56 convictions in 2024. Alleged 12.3 billion naira fraud. EFCC to arraign ex-First Bank MD Otudeko on Monday. 2025 budget. Osun government targets 109 billion naira IGR. Tinubu mourns former Lagos HOS Sonny Ajose. Federal government unveils a project to promote transparency in reporting climate action. AFCTA Secretary General urges Africa to implement a protocol on digital trade. Lawyers react to SNDIGBO terrorism charge acquittal. Federal Road Safety Corps surpasses 100% revenue target, remits 5.9 billion naira to federal government in 2024. Edo election. Amid tension, Iguodalo reaffirms confidence in judiciary. 20 Ebe communities suffer land grabbing invasion in 2024. Youth leader. Climate change. World Bank disburses 5 billion naira to 140 Plateau communities. Court jails fake spiritualists for internet fraud in Ilorin. Governor Lawal approves recruitment of 2,000 teachers. Castina enhancing security in healthcare facilities. Governor Oyedele lists gains of rebasing Nigeria's economy. MDCN inducts 54 ATBU medical graduates. NYSC sensitizes employers on core member safety, welfare. Police Commission approves appointment of new CPs for Kogi, Edo, UBA-GMD, Alauba, bags honorary doctorate from AUST. Tax reform. NGF rejects VAT increase, backs revised sharing formula. Rowdy section disrupts police 2025 budget defense in National Assembly. That's the much we can take from the Guardian newspaper this morning. Remember, you are listening to newspaper headlines on Ebona the 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 081 or 081 or 08065796599. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning. From the Guardian newspaper, we'll flip over to Leadership newspaper. Nasarawa's 3 billion naira relief fund story that touches the heart. CBN records $6 billion internal CBN records $6 billion external reserves growth. Trump again. Ministry, NIMC to revolutionize agric with NIN-enabled farmer registry. Petrol price stood at 1,214.17 in November. Petrol price stood at 1,214.17 naira in November. Oil marketers, regulators meet to tackle industry challenges. Next 25 years, challenging for Nigeria, developing economies. World Bank. 2025 budget, NIMASA to meet 537 billion naira revenue target. CBN approves Obozuwa's appointments as ED in FCMB. Acharami Energy assures safety sustainability, achieves milestone on asset delivery. Operators oppose 12 trillion naira revenue target for customs. SMEDAN call for reliable business data for economic planning. Nigotma NIGCOMSAT, Utelsat, partner to deepen communication connectivity via LEO satellite. Defense Minister seeks increased funding to combat terrorism, banditry. Northern Democrats honor Sir Ahmadu Bello, Tafawa Balewa's legacies. Niger generated 600 billion naira from agro businesses. Bago. Fayose backs multiple degrees in politics, artificial intelligence in Lagos. Sanusi criticizing Tinubu's economic reforms because of shift in loyalty. Federal government, AFRD, your sacrifices will always be remembered. Governor Aliyu. Investment, Enugu on right path under Mbase's Bagudu. Promote our heritage. Senator Natasha tells Northerners the tax before new super egos coach. Ways to make money from real estate in Nigeria. Defense headquarters blames foreign fighters for spike in terrorist attacks. Stakeholders launch African School of Governance in Rwanda. Akande's integrity, wisdom have shaped our democracy. Tinubu. Federal government. Still on the stories making the headlines on the leadership newspaper this morning. Federal government caps telecoms tariff hike at 60%. Alleged 12.3 billion naira fraud. EFCC arraigns Otudeko Onasanya on Monday. Finally, governors accept tax reform bills. I am humbled by leadership award. Governor Namadi. ANWBN launches empowerment program for widows, entrepreneurs, vulnerable women. Lekki Ports appoints Quang as MD. Federal government grows CNG refueling capacity by 180%. Police arrest soldier with Canadian loud in Lagos. Paracourt jails fake spiritualist over internet fraud. BPP stops contract frauds, saves 1.9 trillion naira, 513 million naira spent on free fistula treatment in 6 months. NHIA. Ethiopia has not overtaken Nigeria as Africa's fourth largest economy. NCC, FCCPC sign pact to protest telecom consumers. Your integrity, wisdom have shaped our democracy. Tinubu hails Ali Akande at 86. That's the much we can take from the leadership newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the leadership newspaper, we'll flip over to Vanguard newspaper. Influx of ISWAP, Southern governors mobilize, activate regional security, high electricity tariffs, who will install solar panels in varsities. Tinubu. Ondo local government polls, PDP withdraws, candidates kick as police restrict movement. Tinubu's reforms will liberate Nigeria from political bondage. Akande. World Bank projects 3.6% economic growth for Nigeria. Hardship. Women scavenging for valuables in garbage dump to feed their homes. Influx of ISWAP. We've taken this. But still on the stories making the headlines on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, we must force Kwankwaso Ganduje to reconcile, says Kanu lawmaker Jibrin. PDP accept verdict, recognizes Fubara faction as legitimate executives. PDP accepts verdict, recognizes Fubara faction as legitimate executives. PDP withdraws from Ondo local government polls. Edo Election Tribunal, Igodalo, reaffirms confidence in judiciary amid rising tension. Ondo local government polls. We've taken this. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Boko Haram attack another Chibok village. 2025 budget predicated on 2 million barrels crude oil production. NUPRC. Governors back Tinubu on tax reform, propose new VAT sharing formula. Troops neutralize suspected bandits, recover 18 kidnapped victims in Plateau. Others. Insecurity. Ohaneze youths tell Tinubu to disregard Soludo, fulfill promise to release Kano. Truck kills 14 in their beds, praying ground in Benue. I am sorry, man apologizes to police for claiming officers made him his manhood disappear. I am sorry, man apologizes to police for claiming officers made his manhood disappear. Man commits suicide after selling piece of land to 3 buyers in Benue. Killer meat. Panic in Benue as butchers resort to roasting cows and goats with tires. Governor Ododo vows to prosecute 40-year-old man for allegedly raping 3-year-old girl. And that's the much we can take from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the Vanguard newspaper, we'll flip over to the Sun newspaper. NGF endorses reversed VAT sharing formula to promote equity. Again, budget defense session turns rowdy as lawmakers fight to defend Inspector General of Police. Defense headquarters explains rebound in terror attacks. Tinubu's economic reforms necessary to rejig Nigeria. Akande. National Assembly panel threatens agencies with zero allocations. Rivers, we accept court verdict on state ESCO, PDP. Rivers, we've taken this. Edo PDP kicks as APC reclaims party secretariat 4 years after. Obi mockers on ending feud. Kebi, Aliero's defection to APC stirs uncertainty in opposition. Yaradua would have been Nigeria's best president if he had lived. Dagogo. Oshun 2026 APC group dispels imposition claims in zoning agitation. Nigeria's crude oil production dropped marginally in December. OPEC. Eternal PLC appoints Adoshun MD, CEO. Federal government launches G2P card initiative to properly identify farmers. Again, budget defense session turns rowdy. We've taken this. Defense headquarters explains rebound in terror attacks. Tinubu's economic reform necessary to rejig Nigeria. Akande. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Sun newspaper this morning, Ebuchi returns to training from knee injury. Nigeria's distributing femicide statistics, stiffer sanctions against infrastructure vandals. That's the much we can take from the Sun newspaper this morning. From the Sun newspaper, we'll flip over to the Punch newspaper. Lagos orders 6 more trains from China. Ningi monarch visits Pataksku Emir to deepen ties. Kanu governor hails commissioner for returning 100 million naira SS funds. Court jails Ezendibo for parading as chief in Lagos. Kanu secures 12 buses to ease students' transportation bottlenecks. Rowdy session in National Assembly as Inspector General of Police defends 2025 budget proposals. Federal government debunks third mainland bridge damage rumor. NIDCOM hails CBN's initiatives to boost diaspora remittances. Reps panel commends federal road safety course enforcement of traffic laws. Candidates protest PDP's withdrawal from Ondo local government poll. Police probe source of tear gas fired at Gombe Varsity students. Police probe source of tear gas fired at Gombe Varsity students. Katsina governor vows tougher security after hospital bandit attack. Tinubu hails BC Akande at 86. APC, Abiodun Sanwo-Olu lawmakers mourn reps deputy chief whip. Bodija explosion masterminds remanded facing terrorism charges. Makinde. Manufacturer laments surge in foreign second-hand shoes. African leaders warned against debt burden. Plateau disburses 5 billion naira to empower 140 farming communities. Foundation organizes a party for orphans in Delta. Lagos state government to seal unapproved buildings. Adron Homes strategizes for 2025. And that's the much we can take from the Punch newspaper this morning. From the Punch newspaper, we'll flip over to the Daily Post newspaper. NIN registration. Lepers decry lack of identity exclusion. National Assembly may exempt police from envelope budgeting system as a session goes rowdy. War, you've confessed. Sudan reacts as US imposes sanctions on army chief Al Burhan. AGN President Emeka Willis not arrested. Police. Biafra. Nnamdi Kanu offers 1 million naira challenge to law students. Governors bow back tax reform bills, propose new VAT sharing formula. Biafra, Nigerian government, judiciary deliberately delaying Nnamdi Kanu's trial. IPOB lawyers, tax reform bills will weaken tertiary education trust fund public universities. ASU. Pastor blames parents for children's involvement in money rituals. Thank you, Commissioner for Persons with Disability, commends Governor Oti. Reps suspend funds to universities whose vice chancellors snubbed 2025 budget defense. Perpetrators of Bodija explosion in prison. Makinde, that's the much we can take from the Daily Post newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the Daily Post newspaper, we'll flip over to the Nation newspaper. Governors back tax reform bills, 6 adjustment to VAT. Foreign fighters behind terror attacks in Northwest, Northeast, says Defense Headquarters. Federal government, economic reforms on cost despite Sanusi's doubt. Alleged 12.3 billion naira fraud, EFCC to arraign Otudeko, ex-First Bank MD, on Asaya, Monday. Adeleke slams fresh curfew on Ifon Ilobu. Ayedatiwa declares today work free. Torrent of tributes for Akande at 86. BPP has saved Nigeria 1.9 trillion naira from contracts fraud, says DG. Lukbobri. Market forces will always determine fuel price. $52.88 million recovered loot. US envoy lost Nigeria's doggedness. Tinubu applauds Okonjo-Iweala, Adeola, Adesina on Unilag's awards. Saraki congratulates beneficiaries of Foundation's tertiary scholarships. I bear no grudge against a president, says Bauchi Governor Muhammad. Why there is food shortage in Nigeria. Tinubu, Sanwo-Olu, others mourn exit of ex-Lagos HOS Ajose. Bodija explosion. Suspects facing trial currently in custody, says Makinde. You are listening to newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. When I go for a short break, when we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning. Please stay with us.
Ebona, the 103.5 FM OBD presents Media Talent Hunt and Skill Acquisition Show. Are you an upcoming model, actor, Rap, R&B, gospel, reggae, or high life musician? Are you trying to find your footing on social media? Do you want to earn money with talents and skills? Do not look any further. Sign up for Ebonadi 103.5 FM Media Talent Hunt and Skill Acquisition Show. Today, you will have the opportunity to learn and become an expert in video coverage, photography, film editing, music production, advertising and social media marketing, content creation, filmmaking, radio drama, magazine production, and many more. Register today at Ebonadi 103.5 FM Ogidi opposite Obunike Boys inside European Residency Hotel Ogidi. For more information, call or WhatsApp 080 65 79 6599. Ebonadi 103.5 FM. Nababoa Production. Police vigilante. My business. When I will tell you, HEADLINES radio drama. HEADLINES radio drama every Monday 8 o'clock p.m. with a repeat broadcast on Saturday 3 o'clock p.m. Now, Ebonadi 103.5 FM.
If you move by finish your business,
The challenges of documenting memories in the 21st century is gone. When you have Ebonadi 103.5 FM, here, what are you celebrating today? Birthdays, wedding anniversary, traditional wedding, chieftaincy conferment, or fala, etc. Approach Ebonadi 103.5 FM Ogidi today to document your event. Ebonadi 103.5 FM offers you live coverage of your events on radio and social media, video and photo coverages, feature on magazines, photo books and others, news coverage of political and other events. Take this offer and receive a complete coverage. For more information, call or WhatsApp 080 65 79 6599 or you visit Ebonadi 103.5 FM Ogidi opposite Obunike Boys inside the European Residency Hotel Ogidi. Igbo ekele asị na ọkụ nna gonyere nwata n'aka adịghị alụgbukwana ya. Anyị na-ekwu okwu Ugo Salama na Abatete, ọkala mmadụ ọkala mmụọ, dibịa nna nyere nwa, alụsị na-enye ego, alụsị na-enye nwa, nke oyibo kpọrọ fertility god. Asị na omebelu ma chiekwana onye ụta akpakwana ya. Ugo Salama Abatete sege bịa ndị ife na-esiri ike, ụmụ nwaanyị na-achọ nwa, ijego n'ugwu jee na ndịda mana ife na-eme nwere isi. Ugo Salama Abatete sege bịa ebo n'ikorobịa maọbụ nwa agbọghọbịa ịgbakọtago mbọ mana ife a na-eme nwere isi. Ugo Salama sege bịa ọ sị na ife ọ na-esu bụ oke awele oke ibubo mana ọ ka ọ dị mma. Ị na-azụ abịa yetu ihe ịra ka ịra were ọsọ jebe na nke Ugo Salama na Abatete. Ọfisi ya dị na Abatete maọbụ ịkpọ ya na 070 44 79 1739 ọzọkwa 070 44 79 1739.
abụ onye Anambra mụrụ ọda agenge m na
ọ na-abụ mbata Anambra steeti na-achọ ebe ife na-eme ọ dịka enwe ife na-akọ m ya wee kpee ezigbote enyi m nwoke wee jụbịa kedu ebe ife na-eme na Anambra steeti ọ wee sị m ka ọ na manụbe maka Residency Hotel dị Ofin Ogidi m wee sị enyi m nwoke ọ gịnị na-eme na Residency Hotel dị Ofin Ogidi ọ sị m chelụ m na ebe ọ na-achọ ịpịa m na-abụ ole sị m na enwe executive rooms and suites n'Ogidi na Residency sị m ka m ejego na dia restaurant ka akatigodo m na chef Fadebelodel aka adọrọkwa ya mmanụ ebe a na-esi esi ọkwa nlisi ụtọ wee sịzia m na m bịazia na dia outdoor arena ebe a na-eme ma wedding traditional marriage dedication naming ceremony shows and displays sị m na banwe swimming pool na ọkwa nwefọ ka weda si dị nkwụnye onwe m n'ime mmiri lozi afọ na enwefe na wee taa aka sị na ebe a dịkọta ife m na-eme aga m anọ na Residency Hotels dị Ofin Ogidi ka nwa aṅụrị tọla atọ ezi enyi m gwalụ m nwanne na Residency Hotel dị Ofin Ogidi dị well secured in a serene environment ọ dị na kilomita 13 Old Enugu Onitsha Expressway solukwa m maka ana m eje de enwe fon nọmba onye m ga-eji buku ya na 08140933512 ana m akpọfa just now ka m bukuo
ndị be anyị ekene m unu afọ m bụ Nwaada Okoye Mmesoma Eric abụ m Adaogidi 2024/2025 achọkwaziri m iji ohere a wee kenee Igbo bụ Igbo niile ndị Ogidi niile ndị kwadoro anyị na Adaogidi nke afọ a nna sị na Chineke ga-agọzi anyị ncha niile n'otu n'otu afọ a ga-abụ afọ ọma nye anyị ncha Chukwu gọzie unu.
How best can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets, our community, our society in general? Street report. If we do not address these challenges on Ebonadi FM, who will, as the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be?
Our government,
Street report is here to make sense of it all. Street report is causing social change across your streets. In your community, Street report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifanishu, number the force every Friday, 4:30 p.m. on Ebonadi 103.5 FM as Street reports unfolds in your face. On Emas Ebonadi 24/7, 24/7.
You are welcome back to Newspaper Headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 081 38 39 7740 or 081 39 25 6742 or 080 65 79 65 99. We are on to the Nation newspaper. Failure to defend budget votes attracts zero allocation. Lawmakers warn. Tinubu's Man of the Year award excites Salis. ANWBN launches a program for widows, entrepreneurs, others. Facility management can address climate change, others. Delta schools get 100 million naira educational materials. Road 3 donates hygiene kits to students. FEM seeks approval to finance power plants, others. RTEAN hails Lagos Speaker. Last but Merenda. Include indigenous voices in climate dialogue, says advocate. Majma. Lagos graduates 100 in Arabic Sharia studies. Polygamy. Polygyny will correct societal imbalance, says Muslim women. Students shot dead in Oshun communal clash. Ayedatiwa declares Friday work-free for Ondo Council poll. Kwankwaso, Ganduje must reconcile in Kanu's interest. Kofa, how BPP saved Nigeria 1.9 trillion naira from contracts fraud. DG, post-TVC interview. Abike Dabiri Erewa receives Sahid Oladere in Abuja. Tinubu bent on completion of Abuja-Kanu Road in record time. That's the much we can take from the Nation newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the Nation newspaper, will flip over to this day newspaper. Tax reform, governors, presidential committee endorse revised VAT 50% equality. Cardoso unveils initiative to boost payment turnaround, streamline approval processes. Others shouting march at National Assembly. Legislators fight during Inspector General of Police budget defense session. Otudoke refutes alleged role in FBN holdings, vows to defend reputation. Tinubu mourns ex-Lagos head of service, Sonny Ajose. Wike revokes Maitama 2 lands allocated to Tajuddin, Uzodinma, Diri, Dabiri Erewa, Ayade. Tax reform, governors, a presidential committee endorse revised VAT 50% equality. Bayelsa government receives mechanized agri equipment worth $500,000 from South Korea. Bayelsa government receives mechanized agri equipment worth $500,000 from South Korea. Sokoto Investment Company, Governor Aliyu inaugurates members, vows to confront challenges. Federal government convenes inaugural oil industry forum set to halt policy, regulatory conflicts. Others, Otudeko refutes alleged role in FBN holdings, vows to defend reputation. Stakeholders raise concern over increasing rate of theft on domestic flights. Positive sentiment lifts market cap by 53.12 billion naira. Expert, Nigeria orders $25.75 billion FDI signals era of industrial transformation for West Africa. Lekki Port appoints Wang, Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer, Aviation Ministry, comments NAMA on efficiency in air travel, reinforcing safety, passenger protection in flight operations. First City Monument Bank announces appointment of Executive Director. And that's the most we can take from this day newspaper this morning. From this day newspaper, we'll flip over to Nigerian Tribune. Bauchi governor reiterates commitment to citizens' access to quality health care services. Federal government free fistula surgery benefits 1,629 women. NHIA. Your regatta boat festival aims for international recognition. EMIA. Yaru Regatta Boat Festival aims for international recognition. EMIA. Memans former chairman Adoshun appointed Eternal PLC CEO. Food security. National Assembly seeks budgetary allocation to agricultural sector. P2B donates 20 million naira to 2 Christian schools in Anambra. How to implement 2025 budget successfully. FRC. MSH supports Taraba government fight against malaria. I borrowed clothes, jewelry to shoot Omije Ojumi video. Bumi Akinanu, U.S. Deputy Secretary of State, lost Nigeria over Galatasaray fund repatriation. Ifon Ilobun communal crisis. Adeleke imposes fresh curfew. Federal government renews pledge to develop Lassa fever vaccine. Tinubu mourns ex-Lagos HOS Ajose. And that's the much we can take from the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. And that will also mark the conclusion of all that we have for you on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines on Ebonade 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 081 38 39 7740 or 081 39 256742, or you send your SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080 65 79 6599. Now we flip over to our WhatsApp portal for your reactions. On our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message. It's coming from Comrade Manly Oduago from Udumobosi. And he says, my respect for our globe-trotting president, let it be said. And I unequivocally say that our dear president cannot fool all the people all the time. More so, he cannot be president for more than 2 terms. And if my assertion is true, he should urgently see the need to depart from his selective, conservative, selfish, egocentric, and squandermanic and globe-trotting attitude, and for God's sake, settle down to evolve a lasting solution to our barbecued and epileptic economy, and possibly develop lasting institutions that would serve the interests and needs of the masses of Nigerians. A stitch in time saves 9, but like the great Caesar, the choice is his. Comrade Manly Oduago from Odumobosi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Still on our WhatsApp portal, we have this message. It's coming from Waloto Patrick from Monteja, and he says, may I use this opportunity to call on all the political leaders, religious leaders, traditional leaders, and the civil societies in the Southeast region to come together, brainstorm, and find a political solution for release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu's continued detention in DSS, the dungeon, is no longer acceptable to all well-meaning people of the region. I don't think that all the antagonism, attack and counter-attack among the people of the region is going to salvage the situation. Mwaloto Patrick from Monteja, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Still on our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message. It's coming from Iweka Ifani from Ikengo Gidi, and it says, Supreme felicity is seldom to the fate of mortal men. The ability of Nigeria being great lies on the shoulder of a few disciplined men. The very moment we take away ethnicity from our mindset, the better for us as a people. Love knows hate. May God bring everlasting peace in the southeastern part of Nigeria. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Still on our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message. It's coming from Obiora from Okosu, and he says, Nnamdi Kanu lawyer, decry continued detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And he says, God used Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to expose the type of religion and human being in Nigeria, because if there is any good religion in this country that are really afraid of God, they must come out boldly to commend the wicked act of Buhari and okay, and he says any person who refuses to say the truth are dancing the music of the devil, and he will never have rest. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Obiora from Okozo. Now we flip over to our SMS portal. We have this message is coming from Honorable Onyedeka Osakwe, and it says Igodalo of Edo State is confident with the judiciary as the APC government, INEC, and court are like salt, pepper, and oil that is used in digesting yam, which way Nigeria. I think there is hope since there is life. Honorable Osakwe continues and says it is that Women has become expensive that made some men to resort to raping of minors and teenagers. We are surprised as no day will pass by without kidnapping and rape. New things has fallen apart in Nigeria, and if stringent measures is not taken, we will face severe and precarious conditions as those that Kola is being kept for no teeth. Honorable Sakwe continued and says that the state of affairs in the nation is nothing but gross failure, as kidnapping and banditry is now the accepted trade, as all the states in Nigeria has embraced it. The trade booms more than gold and cocoa. Old business, what a country. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Honorable Onyedika Osakwe. But still, there is no, and there is no excuse for kidnapping or raping, of minors and teenagers. So, in as much as yes, we know the condition of the country, but there is no, excuse to that. Still on our SMS portal this morning, now we have this message. It's coming from Agonabo. He's joining us from Ofa Aguluzibo. And he says, Nnamdi Kanu saga continues detention. Detaining him is an act of wickedness. And, terrorists, we are watching as things unfolding. Boko Haram rampaging in northeast side of Nigeria is barbaric and to be condemned. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Agonabo from Ofa Aguluzibo. Well, this is the spot where we'll call it a day on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Remember, it comes your way weekdays in the morning once it's 7 o'clock. So keep a date and don't touch the dial of Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Once it's 8:20 this morning, we'll be back with Birthday Splash. Till we meet again, I am Martin. Have a blissful morning.
Ebona, the 103.5 FM Ogidi presents Media Talent Hunt and Skill Acquisition Show. Are you an upcoming model, actor, rap, R&B, gospel, reggae, or high life musician? Are you trying to find your footing on social media? Do you want to earn money with talents and skills? Do not look any further. Sign up for Ebona, the 103.5 FM Media Talent Hunt and Skill Acquisition Show. Today, you will have the opportunity to learn and become an expert in video coverage, photography, film editing, music production, advertising and social media marketing, content creation, filmmaking, radio drama, magazine production, and many more. Register today at Ebona, the 103.5 FM Ogidi, opposite Obunike Boys, inside European Residency Hotel Ogidi. For more information, call or WhatsApp 080-6579-6599. Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Napapoa production. Police for vigilante. Not my business. When I will tell you, DJ radio drama. Erico. Akụkọ ihe mere n'ime ogbe HJ Radio Drama, Eriko, Ghana Dialogue, every Monday, 8 o'clock p.m. with a repeat broadcast on Saturday, 3 o'clock p.m. Now, everyone at 103.5 FM.
If you move by finish your business,
Amara mi le wadi wa amu, kuma kuna kada na ma ko na ne ri ko na ye. Nke ka ku ke wona ala ma wu kuna ya ma wule si.
The challenges of documenting memories in the 21st century is gone. When you have everyone at the 103.5 FM, here, what are you celebrating today? Birthdays, wedding anniversary, traditional wedding, chieftaincy conferment, ofala, etc. Approach everyone at the 103.5 FM Ogidi today to document your event. Everyone at the 103.5 FM offers you live coverage of your events on radio and video and photo coverages, feature on magazines, photo books, and others. News coverage of political and other events. Take this offer and receive a complete coverage. For more information, call or WhatsApp 08065796599 or you visit everyone at the 103.5 FM Ogidi opposite Omunike Boys inside the Ovin Residency Hotel. Okidi.
How best can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets, our community, our society in general? Street reports. If we do not address these challenges on Ebonadi FM, who will? As the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be.
Our government,
Whatever Street Report is here to make sense of it all. Street Report is causing social change across your streets.
in
your community. Street Report is here with hardcore journalists to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifanish, who gets KCSI number the first every Friday, 4:30 p.m. on Ebonadi 103.5 FM as Street Reports on Fools in your face. On your master Ebonadi corner 24/7, 24/7.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Tighten your seatbelt as we take you on this smooth ride.
let's go!
it's the morning drive on 103.5 Ebonadi FM. Keeping your morning engaging as we take you through the smoothest
From Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
on the morning drive.
103.5 Ebonadi FM. 103.5.
Okay, guys, here we work. Then remember to check this out. It's on Amazon.com. Hip hop and Igbo culture by just speaking. Not in French. Okay? Work.
Damn, won't hurt you, baby. Took a chance to jump when you ain't land safely. Instead of talking about how you've been played, you should take a look at yourself, maybe. In the diamonds was smooth and the sex was crazy. The decked out fill out the country's your favorite. But who gon' go half when I'm 6 months on the boat to be flashing it? So I gotta get up out of harm's way. Listen to what my dog said.